Hey everybody, Shane here and welcome to my channel Airsoft Zealot. Today I got something for you, the review for the ICS CXP MMR DMR. Quite a mouthful. I got this from Evike. It was about $420. I love ICS guns and I saw this and I just couldn't say no, so I went ahead and grabbed it. The unboxing video is down there. I'm sure you're going to see it in the comments. Alright, so first things first, 38.5 inches is a pretty long gun to 40 inches, and that's because the stock has a little bit of play as far as the lengthwise. It does weigh 7.5 pounds, which is not too heavy. I mean, you know, yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, you're going to get a little bit tired, but if you're playing with this type of gun, it's more of a DMR roll anyway, so you're not going to be running around too much. So you're going to be posting up and then trying to get some good kills and then kind of moving around a little bit too. So we'll start at the back. We got the UKSR stock. This is a pretty cool stock. I do like it, especially for kind of a DMR type setup. It's got the wheels here where the butt pad will extend and go back so you can get a good shoulder weld on it. And then also for your cheek weld, you can take this and put it up and down. And that's awesome. I did expect a little more battery room in this gun because as you'll see in a minute that it's just a buffer tube battery. So you're talking about a stick type battery, and that is not that much. So we pull this guy off right here. There's a little pin. You just twist it. It has a lock and unlock picture on there. And as you can see, it's just a buffer tube battery. There's really not much space in there. So I got a 11-1 stick here. I'm hoping that it's going to fit. Once I pull everything out, I think it'll be able to fit. So that's good. I was a little bit worried about that. And you just pop this guy right back in here, if I can figure this out. And then you just lock it right back on. Alright. So, it is polymer in the back, which is okay. It's got a steel buffer tube. It also has ambi sling points here, which is nice because I'm left-handed. So it's got them on both sides. That's really awesome. They have the kind of the Raptor style charging handle where it's got the two little levers here and then you pull it back. It's kind of cool. Looks pretty aggressive. As far as aesthetically, it looks really nice. So that's awesome. The handguard. Some people say the handguard's a little bit too much. It's kind of too sharp, I guess, but I actually like it. I think it gives a really good grip on it, and you're going to be wearing gloves anyway. So I actually do like a little bit more of the aggressive stippled handguard, so that's good. We do have the Picatinny rail on top for all your sights and everything that you need. It comes with two sights, the one set of sights, the flip-ups, CXP logos on them. They're pretty nice. I don't have any problems with them. I kind of played around with them. They're a little loose, but they're airsoft flip-ups. Like, what do you want? You just watch where your BBs goes, let's face it. So, don't really have anything bad to say about that. I'm going to be putting a scope on this thing anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. The body, so I went on a couple different websites, and the ICS website said that the upper is CNC machined, 100%. But the lower, it didn't really say anything about it. Now, there is a line right here on the mag well. And since I see that, it's probably cast, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's kind of odd how they CNC'd the upper but then cast the lower. So it must have something to do with all the stuff on top of it. But that's all right. The body pins are tracked, which is really awesome. That way when I do tech work on this thing, you can pop it out and then you're not going to lose the body pins. They're not going to fall out in the field because it is a split gearbox, version 2 split gearbox. So you can take that back pin out, take the gun down, and then pull the upper portion of the gearbox out. And sometimes you'll be out in a parking lot or at your truck or something, replacing a spring or doing minor maintenance on it maybe between games. So that's good. One thing I did like is it has this extended mag release right here, which is really great because I really did like that. It really comes back farther, so you can really get your finger on there and get that mag out, which is awesome. The M-LOK handguard, I have not. This is my first M-LOK gun. I haven't even looked at M-LOK accessories. I think I have a bipod with an M-LOK attachment on there, so I'm going to take a look at those today. Hopefully I got the right one because there is a key mod version of this, the Mars. It's only like 40 bucks more, but I kind of like how it's streamlined. I don't put a lot of attachments and gizmos and stuff. I'm probably just going to put a bipod and then a scope on this thing and call it a day. Let's talk a little bit about the inside of the gun, just a little bit. The hop-up, it is metal, which is nice. Metal hop-up rotary style. ICS hop-ups are generally pretty good, so I do have a Retro Arms rotary that I might throw in there. We'll see how the buckings that I got work out with this one. I may save that for a different gun. It doesn't have a lockback feature. the bolt catch, excuse me. Doesn't have that, which is okay. It's really not that big of a deal. And then, of course, this ugly orange flash hider that I'm going to have to take off. The inner barrel is a 458 millimeter. It's aluminum. So I'm going to replace that with a steel one. And I'm going a little bit longer than that. They did put a 458 in here, but they have a ported cylinder, which confused me a little bit. So I don't know if it's getting quite the air volume that it needs to really get the best bang out of this gun. So we'll take a look. I may actually go in there and just replace that ported cylinder whenever I do some shooting tests and just see if it makes any difference, if the air volume helps with the hit power and everything like that. All right, so let's talk trademarks. So they have the ICS trademarks here. We have ICS CXP Tactical Gear Cal 6mm .24 BB, and then it's got the serial number as well as the gun angel, I guess you could call it, right there. Which I have a tubular handguard ICS, and it has like the rook on there, or a king, like a chess piece outline, and it's actually really cool. I wish they would have stuck with that, but that's okay. Airsoft electric gun manufactured ICS Taiwan ROC. So ICS has been based out of Taiwan since pretty much forever. They've gone through a lot over there as a company, and they really persevered, and they make some really amazing guns. My first gun was actually an ICS. It was an MP5 back in like 2003. Everybody had Tokyo Maries, and they were all plastic. And then I got the metal ICS, and it was really awesome. It was super heavy. It shot really well. I didn't know about taking airsoft guns apart or anything then, but it lasted me for years. And finally it broke, and it took forever. So I was really happy with it. So I've been a big ICS fan for a long time. Another thing about this rifle is it is electric blowback. So we'll see how that affects the gearbox. I'm going to take a look at the mechanism. I generally don't do electric blowback. I usually file off the little actuator thing and just kind of leave it be. But we'll take a look. Maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I won't. We'll see. It does have an inline MOSFET, which is awesome because it's going to protect those trigger contacts. So that's good. I would like a programmable MOSFET, but that's the Mars version. It has the SSS MOSFET, but I'm not too sure about that one. I've read some left and right reviews on it, so I kind of want to get one just to take a look at it. But I do have an ACSU Gen 4 that I'm going to put in here, so it doesn't really matter about the inline MOSFET. Alright, so another cool feature of this gun, because it is a split gearbox, which is great already. I love it, because you can take the upper out and take basically a bolt carrier group out, throw in a different spring, throw in whatever you need, and you're good to go. And it disassembles like a real AR. It doesn't slide off or anything, which is cool. So the forward assist right here. So say you shoot your gun and the spring gets halfway cocked. You just push that in and boom, it uncocks it. Pretty cool. It pulls that anti-reverse latch back and causes the spring to detent, which is really awesome. That's one of my favorite features of the ICS line. I think that's really great. Not many people are doing that. The gearbox does have 6mm steel bushings, which I think is more than enough. A lot of companies, it's like 7mm, 8mm, 9mm. Bushings in general, to me, well, it depends what the build is, but I like bushings a lot, and 6mm I think can handle most of the stress that it's going to need to take. So there's nothing wrong with that. It does have the timing connector in the back. I will be replacing it with the Deans just because all my batteries have Deans on them anyway. And I think it's a better connector overall. I don't know how much it actually helps as far as performance-wise, but it's just easier to deal with. They don't break as much and things like that. I got two different websites telling me two different things for this. One of them was saying it shoots 390 to like 410 or like right around there. And then I think Evike or Fox Airsoft said it's shooting 421 to 441. I don't know if that's just the difference if you buy it in America versus buy it in a different country. So I'm hoping it's going to be the 421 to 441 because I probably won't need to do anything to the spring to play with it at the field. However, I do have a higher spring just to have fun with. So that would be really awesome. One less thing I have to do. Alright, so I just took the stock off and I put in an 11-1 stick LiPo. It took a second for me to get it in there to figure out how it goes, but it fit it really well. It's the Gold Dot off Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description. You can take a look at it. Fairly inexpensive. I think I've had one in the past and it went well. I don't know. I'm kind of testing it out, but I think it'll be fine. So I put it in. Let's go ahead and put this and see how it sounds. Doesn't have very much whine. Oh man, that thing sounds aggressive. Oh wow. That electric blowback's not bad actually. That thing's no joke with the 11-1. I mean, I'm going to be firing this in semi pretty much every time, but that's not bad at all. I'm pretty excited to get this out and Oh, wow, that's really cool. Hold on. Okay, did you hear that? So whenever I set the selector switch to safe, it automatically detents the spring. That's pretty crazy. I don't even know why they have the forward assist detent if it does that, but that must be part of the MOSFET that's inside this gun. That's something I didn't even know about. That's really, really cool. So I don't even have to worry about it. It'll automatically detent. That's... I must have made a full cycle. That's cool. So as soon as I set it to safe, it just detents right there. That is awesome. I'm pretty excited about that feature of the gun. So let's take this thing outside, chrono it, and let's get some shooting time on this. Alright, so we're outside. I'm going to put some BBs down in my target here and see if we can get some decent hits. I think I'm right around 60 feet, so we'll see. I'll have a close-up of the target too so you can check it out. So we're back in from my hillbilly range back there. We did the chrono test and the shooting test. This thing chronoed at 480 FPS with conversion. You'll see it on the video. I used 0.25s, but that is crazy. I'm super blown away by that. That was with hop up full off. I think the literature said it's supposed to be shooting 331 to 440, or excuse me, 431 to 441. This thing shoots super hot. It sounded great. It felt great. I don't know if I'm going to do any internal upgrades to it right now. I was going to put a bunch of stuff into it, but now after seeing how hot it shot and it was relatively accurate without really dialing everything in, I may just leave it as is. Maybe put that tight bore, that longer barrel that I was talking about, and just leave it. This thing was a beast, and it was really fun to shoot. It is on the heavy side, but that's fine. No big deal on there. I do want to remind you that was 60 feet from the target, and those were 3-inch bullseyes I was shooting at. And I really didn't dial in the sights too much, and I didn't mess with the hop up too much. So I'm positive that that would be more accurate if you actually dialed all those things in. My first impression and review of this gun is it is worth every penny. Considering it is $400, a little tad over $400, I was a little hesitant, especially if I was going to put some more stuff into it, but you could get this right out of the box, instant DMR. In fact, at the field I play at, I'm probably going to have to downgrade the spring to shoot 450. I'm going to go double check my chrono just to make sure those readings were right, because that was crazy. But I just chronoed a different gun, which was shooting 380 by conversion from 2.5s to 2.0, so it was right on, because I was actually worried as soon as I chronoed it. I was like, man, I need to check another gun to make sure this is reading right. And sure enough, it did. It did have 11.1 LiPo in there. The rounds per second. Overall, this thing is a beast. I really couldn't feel the electric blowback. So I don't really care about the blowback anyway. That's not a big deal to me. Would I buy this again? Absolutely. Knowing what I know now, definitely. This is going to be a beast on the field. So if you enjoyed my review, which I hope you did, please like my video and subscribe to my channel, Airsoft Zealot. I got some really good reviews, some teching videos, and things like that coming out for you guys.